The communication array crackled to life, and suddenly the bridge was filled with the sounds of human music, a cacophonous blend of rhythmic percussion and wailing vocalizations that seemed designed to induce madness. Beneath the music, a cheerful human voice spoke in broken galactic standard. "Greetings, alien visitors. Welcome to Earth. We noticed your ship and wanted to invite you down for a traditional Earth experience. We've prepared a feast featuring our spiciest foods, strongest drinks, and most dangerous recreational activities. Don't worry, the mortality rate for our extreme sports has dropped below 12% this year." The transmission ended with what the translation matrix identified as laughter, though to the assembled crew it sounded more like the death screams of a wounded Zephyrian predator. Silence filled the bridge for several long moments before Dr. Kelvor spoke. "Commander, I'm revising my threat assessment. The humans aren't just surviving their environment, they're actively making it more dangerous for recreational purposes." Zix nodded grimly. "Update the classification. Earth is hereby designated a Level 16 kill world, the first in galactic history. Recommend immediate quarantine protocols and a warning beacon for any vessels that might accidentally venture into this system." She paused, watching as more data streamed in showing humans engaging in something called volcano boarding and shark cage diving. "Actually, make that a Level 17. I don't think our current scale adequately captures the threat level." As the Prudence quietly backed away from Earth's orbit, Zix couldn't shake the image of those fragile pink creatures throwing themselves joyfully into mortal peril. They were either the bravest species in the galaxy or the most insane. Perhaps, she reflected with a shudder, both assessments were correct. The last transmission they received before jumping to hyperspace was a human invitation to something called extreme ironing on active volcanoes. Commander Zix made a note to recommend that Earth be reclassified as beyond the standard kill world scale, entirely in a category all its own. Crickstar flexed his 4 muscular arms as he stalked through the crowded marketplace of Station Omega 7. His crimson exoskeleton gleamed under the artificial lights, and the ceremonial scars covering his torso told the story of 100 victories in the gladiatorial arenas of his homeworld. At nearly 3 meters tall, with razor-sharp mandibles and eyes like molten gold, he was accustomed to being stepping aside when they saw him coming. Today, however, his attention was focused on one particular target. Zira Lin moved gracefully between the vendor stalls, her iridescent blue skin catching the light as she examined exotic fruits from distant worlds. She was beautiful by any species standards, tall, elegant, with the distinctive silver markings of Altarian nobility flowing down her arms like liquid moonlight. More importantly, to Crickstar, she was alone. Or so he thought. The Cororian warrior had been tracking her for 3 station cycles, ever since she'd humiliated him at the diplomatic reception. When he'd made what he considered a generous offer to purchase her companionship for the evening, she'd declined with a laugh that still burned in his memory. No one refused Crickstar the Destroyer. No one. He approached her now with predatory confidence, his heavy footsteps causing several smaller aliens to scatter. Zira Lin looked up as his shadow fell across her, and Crickstar was pleased to see a flicker of concern in her large violet eyes. "Well, well," he rumbled, his voice like grinding stone. The little Altarian princess, all alone in the dangerous parts of the station. How unfortunate. Zira Lin straightened to her full height, which still left her a meter shorter than the towering warrior. "Crickstar, I thought I made my position clear at the reception." "Oh, you did," he said, circling her slowly while his secondary arms flexed menacingly. "But I've decided your opinion on the matter is irrelevant. You see, little bird, I always get what I want. And what I want is for you to learn some manners." The marketplace had gone quiet around them. Vendors and customers alike recognized the signs of impending violence, and most species were wise enough to avoid getting between a Krulorian warrior and his prey. Krikstar's people were legendary for their combat prowess. Their dense bone structure could withstand small arms fire, their strength could crush durasteel, and their reflexes were fast enough to catch projectiles mid-flight. "I suggest you reconsider," Ziralin said calmly, though Krikstar could smell the fear pheromones beginning to emanate from her skin. "You're making a mistake." Krikstar's mandibles clicked in amusement. "The only mistake was yours, when you thought you could embarrass me in front of the other ambassadors. Now I'll what?" The voice came from behind him, and Krikstar spun around with impressive speed. Standing there was a human male, average height by his species standards, with brown hair and unremarkable features. He wore simple civilian clothes and carried no visible weapons. Krikstar had to suppress a laugh. "Ah, the pet human," Krikstar sneered. "I was wondering when you'd show up, Marcus Thompson, though I must say, I'm disappointed. I was hoping for more of a challenge." Marcus stepped forward calmly, positioning himself between Krikstar and Ziralin. "Walk away, Krikstar. This is your only warning." Now Krikstar did laugh, a sound like boulders grinding together. "Warning? You're threatening me? Do you know what I am, little human? I've killed Nexari Deathstalkers with my bare hands. I've crushed the skulls of armored Vorthak warriors. What exactly do you think you can do to stop me?" Marcus's expression didn't change. "I'm from Earth." For a moment, Krikstar was confused by the non sequitur. Then he remembered the briefings about human homeworlds. Earth, the planet so dangerous, it was classified as a restricted zone by most civilized species. The world where the dominant species had somehow survived everything from megafauna predators to global climate catastrophes. But that was just their environment, Krikstar reasoned. These humans looked soft, fragile. Surely the stories were exaggerated. "Earth or not," he growled, "you're still just a weak." Marcus moved,